Alan, this morning I met a lovely couple who was talking to me about the increase in prices and how they're paying so much more to live these days, just the cost of a loaf of bread, the cost of milk. And they seem to be genuinely concerned as Americans with where the economy was going and what they can do to save more money and be better off. How could you explain to an average American about a sound monetary policy and what the government can do to help these people who are struggling and just trying to make a living?
It's a really good point and an important point, because money affects all of us. As much as we don't want to admit it, money's very important to all of us. If the couple were a pair that lived through the 1970s, I'd start with that analogy right there. In 1971, the dollar became totally a paper currency. It was gold-backed until 1971. What followed was this drastic period of inflation. And if you look at the economy, just bring it up to anyone who was around at that time, they know exactly what you mean. Now, inflation is talked about in these very general terms, always put out in the media as if there's no control over it, it's something mysterious. But inflation, it's the increase in the money supply. With all of the things being equal, if you just print more money, you destroy the value of that money. So this dollar here was worth, a year ago, would have been worth 10% more than it is right now. Now, why was it reduced in value? I don't know about you, but the cost that I've been paying are at least 10% more than they were last year. Have you been having the same experience?
I have, yeah. I think most people.
I think so too. Some people don't even notice what they're paying, and that's fine. But this is definitely happening in the U.S. There's inflation right now, and depending on what sources you go to, there are different sources. The government doesn't accurately report inflation. No one follows when the Federal Reserve Bank, very few people follow it, when the Federal Reserve Bank prints more money. It's happening right now. There's a lot of printing happening. That automatically devalues that currency. I shouldn't say automatically. That has the effect of devaluing that currency once the economy feels it. So, essentially the government printing too much money is like a tax from us. There are three ways government can raise money. Through taxation, direct taxation, just give me some of your money. But eventually people will stop saying, I accept that tax. There's a level at which people will say, Another option is borrowing from others. This makes the country a little bit weak. The third option is devaluing the currency. And for thousands of years, this has been something that governments have done. We have a paperless currency. There's not a way to check how much the government prints. I'd like to see a monetary policy where we're allowed to have competing currencies if we want. We could have a sound currency that can't be devalued by the government. That's what the idea of sound money means to me.
That's great. Thank you.
Thanks.